So, namaste and pranam to one and all. We are on the fifth day of the Secrets of Yoga Therapy, and thank you so much for being in this journey and helping us to learn, grow together. So, today we have very special guest again. We have today with us Ms. Priya Philip ji, who is a counselor and psychologist, and we will be learning a lot. But before starting, let's invoke the Guru Parampara, Guru Gayatri. Om Tatparampariyaya Vidmahe Jnanalingeshwaraya Dhimahi Tanno Guruhu Prachodayate Om ओम योग महर्षि डॉक्टर स्वामी गीतानंद गिरी गुरु महाराज की जय। ओम पुदवई कलमा मणि पुदवई शक्ति योगाचारिणी अम्मा जी मीनाक्षी देवी भवनानी गुरु माता की जय। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। So, namaste and pranam again. I welcome you all again on this platform, Zoom Om, where we are sharing a lot with our tradition, learning a lot about the Yoga Chikitsa secrets we are just trying to unveil in these 7 days. So, today we have with us Ms. Priya Philip ji, and we are very honored to welcome Ms. Priya Philip, a dedicated yoga therapist, counselor, and senior disciple in the Risiculture Ashtanga Yoga Parampara. And she has been deeply involved in the Gitananda Yoga tradition for many years and contributing to the teaching, practice, and applications of Yoga Chikitsa in modern life. And with her background in yogic counseling, therapeutic yoga, and lifestyle guidance, she has helped many individuals to find balance and inner healing through conscious living. And Priyaji is recognized for her contributions in yoga therapy in several distinctions, including Yoga Virya Award, Yoga Chammal, Yoga Chikitsaka by the Indian Yoga Association. And she is known for her compassionate approach, practical wisdom, and ability to translate the profound teachings of Swamiji and Ammaji into tools for everyday life. Her work emphasizes that yoga is not only for just for a set of asanas or just for treating the disease, but a complete lifestyle or a way of life where attitudes, choices, approaches, awareness all contributes to healing and transformation. So, with these words, I would like to invite Ms. Priya Philip ji, who will be speaking on yogic counseling and conscious living, role of yogic lifestyle in inner healing. Welcome, Priya ji. Over to you. Namaste.
Yes, namaste everyone. So I'll just share my slides. So I hope you can all see my slides.
Yes, Priya ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And am I audible? Yes. Okay. So namaste and a warm welcome to everyone today. Here we are to explore a topic that sits at the intersection of ancient wisdom and psychology. So it's yogic counseling and conscious living, the role of yogic lifestyle in inner healing. I would like to begin by offering my heartfelt gratitude to my gurus whose blessings and guidance have shaped my journey. My sharings today are from the teachings of my gurus, Swamiji, Maharishi Dr. Gitananda Giri Guru Maharaj, Yogacharani Kale Mamani Parampujaya Ammaji, Meenakshi Devi Bhavanani, and Yogacharya Kale Mamani Dr. Ananda Balayogi Bhavanani, fondly known as Dr. Sir. Okay, so this is the flow of the session today. So we'll be talking about the foundations of a yogic lifestyle, yogic principles, and how we can implement them in today's life. What is inner healing and how these conscious living practices help us in inner healings. And we'll also have a practical demonstration with it. Okay. So the session's objectives is to understand how yogic lifestyle enhances inner healing by combining timeless yogic philosophy and psychology. These practices nurture mental balance, emotional stability, and bring about spiritual well-being for us. Let me start by telling you a story. Okay. So this story is from the Bhagavad Gita, and on the battlefields of Kurukshetra, we can see Arjuna. So he is overwhelmed. He is frozen with doubt and fear, and he actually doubts his very purpose, and he feels completely lost. And in this state, Krishna doesn't give him war strategies. We find that Krishna becomes his counselor and takes him inward with yoga through meditation and conscious action. Now, fast forwarding thousands of years, a young professional I met once shared that she felt like she was always living on autopilot. She felt that she was continuously reactive and continuously stressed. And she felt that she wasn't, satisfied with her life. But with some few yogic simple practices on an everyday basis like pranayama and gratitude journaling and affirmations, she slowly regained her balance. So her anxiety reduced and her sleep improved. So whether it is on the battlefield like 1,000 years ago in ancient India, or if it is in the lives of today's people, the human mind still struggles. And it is in this case that yoga gives us timeless guidance for inner healing and for clarity. So what is yogic counseling? Yogic counseling is the therapeutic use of yogic philosophy and psychology with asanas, pranayama, ethical living, self-reflection, and they guide us to help us grow in our physical, mental, and emotional levels. Okay? Um, this yogic counseling is drawn from uh, Yoga Sutra Patanjali's given to us by Yoga Sutras given to us by Maharishi Patanjali from the Bhagavad Gita and from yogic psychology. They offer us techniques to deal with stress, anxiety, and inner conflict in a holistic way. So what is conscious living? Conscious living means making mindful choices in our everyday life and cultivating awareness through our thoughts, speech, and action. It's about moving from an autopilot life where habits, stress, and our external experiences drive us to a life where we are fully intentional and aware. I'm sure you've all been in that place where you feel like you're on autopilot and life just goes on like a routine. And I'm sure some of you have experienced that when you take your bike or car out, you reach your destination, like if it's a very common destination that you go to every day, like work or home, your vehicle just arrives there and you have no idea what you have crossed, what you have seen. So that is an autopilot mode. So when we live consciously, we start to realize the surroundings around us and how our thoughts and how our actions and how our speech actually influences our day-to-day life. Okay. This aligns closely with the idea of samyama. So this is a state of integrated awareness where the body, breath, and mind work together. And conscious living is about being present. It is more about responding than reacting. And it is about living with purpose and clarity. And I have found that it is when a person is under stress that they react. If they are maybe meeting a person who they don't like, even though they haven't seen them for a long time, and they just come across them and that person just says something, immediately the stress starts to increase and they start saying things which they feel that they should not have said, or after the conversation is over, they would feel like maybe I should have like be calmer, or why did I get stressed out? Okay, so when a holistic way, when we practice yogic practices in conscious living, we tend to keep our calmness and react in a more responsive way. Okay, next is psychology. So, how are psychology and yogic counseling related? Well, psychology is moving in the same direction. And it was very interesting to see, because when I joined yoga like more than a decade ago, I thought, okay, yoga is going to be good for me. I'm going to learn a lot of exercises, which will be good for my body, make me more flexible. So I was in that place where I find many people today. So I understand where they come from. But as I was learning with this parampara, I realized that everything that I have learned in psychology, it already exists in yoga in all the ancient texts. So they are like different, they are put under different names. And some of the things which I came across is mindfulness-based therapies. This is a mindfulness-based stress reduction. And this mirrors a yoga practice of attention, breath awareness, and meditation. Positive psychology, which is a branch of psychology, it focuses on cultivating strength, gratitude, and resilience. Again, these principles are mirrored in yoga. And the yogic principles of santosha, contentment, and abhyasa, consistent practice. The next is humanistic counseling, which is yet again another branch of psychology, which emphasizes on self-actualization and resonates with yoga's aim of self-realization. Yogic counseling, I feel, bridges the best of both worlds of psychology and yoga, and it offers a complete path for the holistic inner healing of a person. So, just as a strong foundation is important in the construction of a building, so is a strong foundation equally important in the yogic lifestyle of a person. These foundations are the pillars that support inner balance and holistic well-being. In yoga, we often describe the human existence through the Panchakosha model or the 5 sheets. These are like layers that surround the self. The first is the Annamaya Kosha, the physical body, which is nourished by food and movement. The next is the Manomaya Kosha. It is our energy body, which is nourished by prana, breath. The third is the Manomaya Kosha, the mind, our thoughts, emotions, and memories. It is made up of the lower mind, the Chitta, and the conscious mind, the Manas. Next comes the Vijnanamaya Kosha, the wisdom shed, which gives us clarity and discernment. It is connected to the superconscious mind, the Buddhi, and the Ahankara, the self-ideating principles of the higher mind. And finally, we have the Anandamaya Kosha, the bliss sheath, where we experience peace and inner joy. When these 5 layers are in harmony, we feel balanced in body, mind, and spirit. Then samatvam or equilibrium is said to exist. And also in this Panchakosha model, only the first 3 layers, that is the Annamaya Kosha, the Pranamaya Kosha, and the Manomaya Kosha, get misaligned, where the Vijnanamaya Kosha and Anandamaya Kosha are always aligned. So when we undergo stress, these sheets tend to get misaligned. Okay. When these 5 layers are in harmony, we feel balanced in body, mind, and spirit. Then samatvam and equilibrium is said to exist. When they get malaligned, which could be in which stress is like one of the causes for that, then it is a condition known as Nara or psychic dissociation. A way in which I remember it, in which Dr. Sir actually gave us an example when I was a student, is that frequently we actually hit ourselves against the door frame or against the table. We hit our hand against the table, or a tiny toe gets hurt against the wall. So this is all malalignment of the koshas. And common symptoms of the Nara include digestive issues and chronic headaches. So the concept of the 5 sheets help us to understand how our actions, how our emotions and thoughts influence our surroundings. This concept of Nara or psychic dissociation helps us to be aware of why things happen to us and others in our daily lives. To bring this harmony into daily life, we should implement yoga into our lives. This can be done by following the Ashtanga Yoga given to us by Maharishi Patanjali, the 8 limbs of yoga. Okay. This is a complete framework for conscious living. The first 2 limbs are the yamas and the niyamas, ethical foundations of our life. The yamas are the do-nots in a sadhaka's life. They guide us to say a big no to our lower self and the basic urges of our animal nature. The niyamas are the do's. They help us say a big yes to our higher self. The next three limbs are the asanas, the pranayama, and the pratyahara. They train the body and the mind. Asanas make the body strong and flexible. Pranayama help us to regulate our emotions, stabilize our mind, and balance our energies. So the slow, rhythmic, and controlled breathing in pranayama leads to what we know as emotional control. The pratyahara helps us to turn inwards instead of being constantly held by distraction. When one cultivates a distance from the sensory objects, an attraction to which is said to be the initial step in the causation of stress. And finally, we have dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Dharana is focused concentration, dhyana is meditation, and samadhi is transcendence, a state of union with the higher self. They help us to focus our mind on the right ideals and pursue our goals in the spirit of nishkama karma, selfless action. That is where we do our duties sincerely without expecting anything in return or without worrying about the outcomes or the result. So when we follow this path, yoga becomes our lifestyle. Our choices in food, sleep, work, relationships, and in our daily routine is very important. And even how we use technology. All of these either disturb or nurture the balance of our body and mind. The yogic lifestyle teaches us to choose what nourishes our being at every level. So I'm sure, like with technology, you would have seen among most of us, especially the younger generation, they tend to stay awake a lot, and you be on the mobile till like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Whereas in yoga, it is advised to sleep early and wake up early. So yogic lifestyle, the dinacharya, you see that you're supposed to like sleep early and wake up early so that the body gets its restoration overnight, and wake up early morning, do some yoga practices and move on with the day. But when a student stays awake all night, automatically his body clock is changed and his entire routine collapses. So even though technology is good for us, there are the pros and the cons of technology. So with yogic lifestyle practices, we need to make mindful choices where we choose the healthy part of the technology and make it useful for our knowledge instead of using it to spoil our health. Okay, so yogic psychology. By understanding the Panchakosha model and the Ashtanga Yoga, we can see how lifestyle choices shape our physical, emotional, and mental balance. So how are these connected with yogic psychology? Yogic psychology is essentially the study of the mind. And it tells us and it explains to us that there are 3 layers: the manas, the lower mind, which reacts to emotions, the buddhi, the higher intellect, which helps us in decision making, and the ahamkara, the ego, that defines the sense of self. Yogic psychology also highlights that the root cause of distress is ignorance, egoism, attachment, aversion, and fear. And the inner healing begins when we balance these forces and move towards self-awareness. Yogic psychology also gives us tools and techniques to manage stress, regulate the emotions, and ultimately experience deeper peace and clarity. So by practicing yogic discipline in daily life, we are actually working with the psychology of yoga that helps us manage stress, regulate emotions, and experience deeper peace. Okay. So what are the principles of yoga therapy? The principles of yoga therapy are practical ways in which the yogic philosophy guides healing, self-discovery, and personal growth. Okay. So the heart of yogic counseling, we have self-awareness and self-reflection. So when we pause and observe our own thoughts, speech, actions, and emotions, we begin to understand the patterns that shape our lives. So just as a mirror reflects our physical self, so self-reflection helps us to see our inner landscape more clearly. It is a process of discovering what already exists within. This approach helps clients to move from confusion to clarity. This awareness itself is therapeutic because it allows one to respond consciously rather than to react unconsciously. The next principle is non-judgmental listening and inner silence. So what happens here is the counselor creates a safe space for themselves as well as the client. So where there is silence and acceptance, which helps the client to open up. In this silence, often insights they come naturally. Okay, and the client feels more safe and secure and open to share. And just as the silence that we have between musical notes, which gives meaning to a song, the inner silence in counseling creates space for healing. So when the counselor listens without judgment, the individual feels safe, accepted, and free to open up. So one of the most important skills in counseling is listening, and it is important not to give your own opinions. So as you allow the client to talk and give them the space, and where you nod and you accept what they say, and you show them that you are listening, that helps them to relax. So I have found, like, in the first session, it may be a little bit difficult for them to open up. But maybe in the second or third session or following sessions, when they are more familiar with you and with your office space, they become more comfortable to share. So as a student counselor, I have experienced that when they come for the first time, they just give me an outline about themselves. But as it goes on, maybe with a few sessions, so generally I have like a few sessions with them. So I tell the person I report to, my vice principal, that I will need like 3 or 4 sessions. Like maybe if they are lacking in attendance or they're finding it difficult to concentrate, we just talk about that. So once those sessions are over, they generally go back to their normal routine of college. But I have found that just these few sessions where we discuss different kinds of things about concentration and being able to overcome homesickness and those kind of things, when they do have a problem, they tend to come to me immediately. They send me a message over text and say, "Can I meet you, ma'am?" And then they come and they're able to share. And I found that inner silence, this non-judgmental listening actually has helped a lot. So it is only when they ask me, "So what do you think I can do? So is there like any way, do you think that what I did is right or wrong? Or do you think I have like I have two options to choose from that I have decided. So which do you think I should choose?" So then I would say, okay, these are the consequences of either of the choices. But at the end, it is your thing to choose what you want to do. So, and they have always gone back happier. And I have found that the more sessions that we have, the more open that they become. And this listening is a very important part, which has helped me. Okay. The next one is Sankalpa, intention setting. So, yogic philosophy emphasizes the power of Sankalpa, intention setting. It is a deep inner resolve that aligns with one's highest truth. Yogic philosophy tells us that where attention goes, energy flows. Yato mana tato prana. In counseling, setting such intentions is very important. So whether it is cultivating patience, building resilience, or choosing self-care, we can serve as a guiding light for personal growth. So for example, a parent or a caregiver who is under stress may set a sankalpa such as, I choose to respond with patience and compassion. Repeating this intention strengthens the mind, gradually transforms behavior. Then the mind is gently reoriented towards growth. So again, when students come to us, in the university, clients who come to me are usually students, the faculty, employees who work here. So when they have a negative thought which keeps on recurring in their mind, I generally ask them, what do you actually want? What is the outcome that you expect? Or how would you want to live your life? And then they tell me, I want to have peace. I want to have a good relationship. I want to be able to be stress free. And so based on that, so these are called intention settings. So I call them affirmations. So because it's easier for them to understand. And I tell this every day as soon as you wake up and before you go to bed. And also during the day when you feel stressed due to anything. When you feel stressed, just close your eyes and say this. Okay, so one of the things which I came across was a sankalpa for a parent. So when a parent is like really stressed with their children, children don't listen, or they have work at home and they want their kids to sit down and study or get things done and they don't do it. So it is important that the parents don't react to this. Okay, so because the children might get hurt. This also applies to caregivers, because with continuous caregiving they can get frustrated. So hence this sankalpa, I choose to respond with patience and compassion. And when you close your eyes and you just sit quietly and you just repeat this a couple of times, it does bring about a real change in the inner self. Okay. So next we have swadhyaya, or self study. So this is reflecting on one's own experiences in life. So how do we do this? So this can be done through journaling, reflection, guided questions. It can be done by reading yogic texts or other related texts that initiate a spark of reflection in you, that makes you question, things which you are doing. And this questioning needs to be healthy. It is not supposed to be where it brings self-doubt on yourself, but it's supposed to help you realize where you're going wrong or which areas you can concentrate on. Or sometimes when things become overwhelming, when you sit down and you do this self-reflection, you can actually see that, you can break it down and you can find out where you actually need to start working at. Okay, so this is where Swadhyaya, self-study helps, and it helps them move beyond the surface level of the problem to a deeper understanding of the self. Next we have, which I consider like one of the most important concepts in yoga as well as in psychology, is resilience. Building resilience in ourselves is important, because if we want to evolve into the best version of ourselves, we first need to have resilience to do that. And we need to understand that every failure that happens is always a stepping stone into the future, where we learn from our experiences and we avoid the mistakes which we have made in the past. So as a PhD scholar, let's say a couple of years ago, when I was working with my data, I was like really scared to go into it, do all the changes that I need to do, work on it, because I was afraid that I would make mistakes. So I would always wait for our statistician, who was an amazing person in our university, Dr. Lokesh Maran sir. He has been very helpful to all of us. So I'd always wait for his appointment to, go, and whatever I did, I would do in his room, so that if something happened to the data, he is there to, save it. So then one of my co-scholars had, he just said this sentence, which gave me such, and it was an eye opener. He said, you are a research scholar to make mistakes. It's like, really? What are you talking about? If I make mistakes and suppose something happens to my data, what will I do? He says, so what? You will just work on it from the beginning. You have a backup. Nothing is going to happen. It's just going to take maybe a little while longer, but you will learn. And unless you make mistakes, you cannot move forward. So this is something which I have shared with all of my clients, especially the student population. I say, if you are making a mistake now, it is going to make your future better, because you are not going to make those mistakes going forward. Okay, so this is where you make mistakes, you get up and you move again. And resilience, this builds resilience in you. So resilience is brought about by breath awareness, acceptance, and healing is not only about removing the symptoms, it is about building inner strength, balance, and joy. So I put together a few sankalpas. So based on the population that I serve, so we have parents and caregivers. I choose to respond with patience and compassion. There's sankalpa for researchers. So I know, like, every day when a researcher is sitting with papers, I have to finish, writing my papers. I have to publish them because we have criteria that we need to achieve in order to submit our theses. Data needs to, fall in place. We need to finish writing everything, and we need to get permission, like, from so many people in the university to move at each step. So for researchers, in order to keep their calm, there's a sankalpa which I came up with, is with patience and clarity, my research work is complete. Okay. So for working women, because there are many faculty women who come to me. So for them is with strength and calm, I balance my duties and equanimity. And also one which is applicable to many of us is a good relationship. So I have found that relationships mostly, they are affected because initially we see them as quantitative. And we say that if one person buys me something, I buy that something back. I buy something back for them. Only then we are like, okay, we are done. We are equal. But that is not how a relationship works. Through yoga, I have learned that yoga relationship needs to be qualitative. So whatever you do with love. Whatever you receive with love. We may not receive it from the same person, but definitely love will come back to us in some way or the other, because that is how our world revolves. That is how our life goes on, and that is how we evolve to become better versions of ourselves. So for a good relationship, the sankalpa is, with love and trust, I strengthen my relationship and sustain harmony and compassion. And when you repeat the sankalpas every day, your mind starts to believe it. Even though, like, when you have doubts at some points in time, your mind tells yourself, hey, I'm good. So my relationship is good. I know whatever it is, we can get through it. So for that, you need to keep on retraining your mind. Okay, so next we have conscious living. So now that we have come across the foundations of yoga and its principles, implementing them in everyday life is what is conscious living. Okay. So living consciously is about making mindful choices in food, rest, work, relationships, and in our day-to-day routines. Okay, so how do we implement the foundations and principles that we have worked in our lives? Okay, so first we have ahara, diet. So yogic tradition advises sattvic food. So sattvic food is, fresh plant-based foods, freshly prepared food, which is to be consumed on the same day. Okay, then mindful eating. Mindful eating is something I find that most of the population do not follow, because they are really stressed, or they've had a long day. They just want to sit in front of the TV and eat. Okay, but it is always better to be present while you are eating. It's better to eat without the TV, so that you notice the taste of the food you're eating, the texture of the food you're eating, and have gratitude for the nourishment that you are receiving from this food. Also, periodic fasting or disciplined eating, that is, eating at the right times during the day, which teaches us moderation and self-control. This disciplined eating, I have found in the student population, it is actually very few people follow it, because they say, I'm studying, or I just feel hungry at night. And I find that people between the age group of 16 to 25, they eat late at night. And in India, we have something called, night biryani. And yeah, it's called Ratri biryani, which means night biryani. So they serve this biryani, which is high cholesterol food, anywhere from like 9 o'clock at night till like 5 o'clock next day morning. So there are people, there are students who I know who have actually set alarms, woken up at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, gone and purchased this biryani and eaten it. Okay, so they do it because they are stressed, and they say, I've been studying the whole day, or I've been working the whole day. This helps me relax. So they feel that these distractions help them relax so that they can get back to work. They are satisfied in some way. So they seek the satisfaction in food and different things, which is an unhealthy way. Okay, so I think a healthy lifestyle is something which we need to bring awareness of to this population right from a young age. And I found that actually since COVID, there is an awareness in in the way you're supposed to maintain your health, which I am seeing. But it is not. I don't think the awareness is enough. Even though some of them are aware, there is still a huge population who rests on food for this mental satisfaction. Okay. Next is nidra, sleep. So just as action and work is important in our lives, so is rest. Unless we get a proper rest, we will not be able to function properly the next day. So one of the best things in yoga is the yoga nidra. So in yoga nidra, the body relaxes while the mind stays alert. And just 20 minutes of yoga nidra gives us a complete rest, which is even more better than the normal relaxation that we do. Like, let's say we just take a simple nap. When we do yoga nidra and then we wake and then we go back to work, maybe like after half an hour, we feel more fresh than we did earlier. Okay. Another one which I suggest to my students and my faculty is pranava pranayama, because it is like one of my most favorite pranayamas for relaxation. And I feel that they come to me with this I don't want to say complaint, but yeah, they come and say that, I sleep at night, but when I wake up in the morning, I still feel tired. But I did sleep. I don't know why. I feel tired the whole day and I'm not able to concentrate or work. So my understanding is that this is because when they have a lot of thoughts going on in their mind and they go to sleep with those thoughts, what happens is the mind is continuously working throughout the night. So it doesn't get any rest. Hence, in the morning, they feel tired. Okay, so pranava pranayama I have found to be very, very useful for them, because I think with maybe like a couple of days of practicing, they do see results and they are very happy, especially during exam times. They study and then they do the pranava just as they fall asleep. So pranava, I suggest them to do it while lying down in the bed. And I tell them it's okay if you fall asleep in while you are doing it. But initially, they have only told me that maybe initially for the first few times they fall asleep, but after that they are able to do the full pranayama and then go to sleep. And when they wake up next day early morning and they sleep only for like 2 to 3 hours during exams, they found that they are like fully refreshed and energetic to go for the exams. So next is karma yoga, nishkama karma, work in action. Okay, so this means doing our duties sincerely without being attached to the results. When we work with dedication and let go of what the results might be, our work becomes a form of meditation. And when we are in this mode and we work with this spirit, it makes it less stressful. Okay, but whatever we do, we always expect the best result. When, like, if we study for the exam, we are more worried about the result for the exam rather than performing in the exam. So we need to learn to focus on the present and our performance. And we should be confident that if our performance is good, our result will be good. Okay. Next is relationships. Relationships are a very important part of conscious living. And yogic philosophy emphasizes seva, that is selfless service, compassion, non-violence, and gratitude. So when we interact with others from a place of empathy and compassion, these relationships stop being a source of stress and start becoming a source of strength. So when we help out a person, we always expect something back from them. That is the normal human nature. That is how we have been trained by society. But with yoga, we learn that whatever we do with just love. We help them out to the best of our ability. And I can assure you that it will definitely come back to you, but through a different person. So when we stop expecting something from a person from helping them out, it becomes less stressful for us. So hence relationships are a very important part of our conscious living because they can make us stressed, they can spoil our mood, they can lower our focus and our concentration. When you have a fight or a misunderstanding with someone, you will not be able to work or concentrate on your day because you expect so much from that relationship. So the next one is dinacharya, a daily routine. So it is important to sleep early, wake up early, have gentle stretches, meditation, have a to-do list for the day, journaling. So when you do all these things in the morning, it kind of like sets a pace for you for the rest of the day, and it makes us less reactive and more centered, moving throughout our lives. And I have found that, so I have suggested this to many of my clients, and I have found that they have reported that in the morning when they wake up and they follow this routine, especially these stretches, meditation, and journaling, and the to-do list. They said the whole day their mind is prepared for what is coming. So what happens is not a surprise to them. And if something out of the normal schedule happens, they remain calmer. Whereas when they wake up late and they run to college, or they wake up late and they run to work, they have found that the entire day is disturbed. So following a daily routine is very, very important so that we can maintain our calmness and respond with more clarity in day-to-day situations. So with conscious living, we can bring about inner healing. So only when we are conscious of our surroundings, we are conscious of ourselves and what we do, can we actually bring about inner healing. When we are on autopilot mode, there is absolutely no inner healing which is going to happen at all, because we are more worried about what is happening around us. We are more worried about our work. We are more worried about the people around us, what they think about us. So when all this is going on, inner healing doesn't happen. So in order for inner healing to happen, first we need to we need to bring in the foundations of yoga and its principles into a conscious lifestyle, in which inner healing starts to take place. Okay. So inner healing, when we use the word healing, generally we think it is the absence of an illness or a disease or a problem. But inner healing is much more than that. It is a natural process of restoring balance, harmony within ourselves. It happens at the physical, emotional, and at the spiritual levels. It is about gently releasing the stress, past hurt, or limiting beliefs that block our well-being. So when I say past hurt, it is in any of our relationships, if somebody has hurt us, they have not been loyal or not been trustworthy. So, those events tend to stick with us, and we tend to go about it again and again in our mind, which keeps on hurting us. So this actually causes a lot of stress. It causes the panchakoshas to become misaligned. It spoils our focus. It spoils our concentration. It gives us sleepless nights. Okay, so inner healing helps to gently release the past hurt. Limiting beliefs, I would say, would be like when a child is brought up by saying that you can't do this. This is too difficult for you, or you're a girl, you're not supposed to do this, or you're a boy, you're not supposed to do this. So these limiting beliefs actually block their well-being. Okay, so with inner healing, we are able to gently release all of this so that they are able to move forward with life and feel more wholesome in what they do. Also, inner healing is about reconnecting with our inner senses of peace and wholeness. And only while we are releasing the stress and past hurt and these limiting beliefs can we actually reconnect with our inner sense of peace and wholeness. Usually, we search for peace, happiness, and wholeness outside. We feel that, okay, if this person is my friend, I will be happy, or if I'm in this group, I'll be happy, or I need to occupy my time with something so that I am not alone and I don't feel sad for myself. But actually, this inner sense of peace and wholeness is within us, and we will realize that only when we start living consciously. Okay. And this stress and this past hurt often brings a lot of pain, and we tend to ignore it, like I said, by distracting ourselves with other activities. But it is important to actually, realize the pain, realize the roots of this pain. We need to sit with it, we need to understand it, and we need to transform it into strength and growth. Okay. So this healing begins from inside and then reflects outward as a physical health, emotional resilience, and renewed sense of purpose. So in a healing, I like to just paint a little picture for you. So imagine you have a medium-sized fish bowl with clear water, and then you mix a handful of mud in it. So it becomes cloudy, just like our world becomes cloudy with stress and painful emotions. You don't have clarity, you're not able to think, you feel confused, you feel frustrated, you don't want to do anything, sometimes you just want to be left alone. Okay, so this is the cloudy water in the fish bowl. But if you gently set this bowl down and let it be still, something magical happens. The mud slowly settles down to the bottom and the water becomes clear all on its own. So all you did is allow it to be still. If you keep on disturbing it, it's going to be cloudy. But if you don't do anything at all, just leave it alone and bring in the stillness, it automatically becomes clear. So this is inner healing. It is not about, trying to remove the mud from the water or pretending it's not there. This is about giving ourselves the stillness, the compassion, the time that we need, to bring that stillness inside of us, to return for that clarity to return naturally to us. And this is where yogic lifestyle is very powerful, because just like the stillness clears the water clears the muddy water, the yogic lifestyle practices bring stillness into our daily lives. It gently nurtures healing at the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual levels, working deeply on the body, mind, spirit, and activating our natural capacity to heal from within. So healing actually happens on 3 levels. We have the physical healing, the emotional healing, and the spiritual healing. So all of us has stress. So stress is different for each and every person because the way we react to a situation differs. And it is based on our levels of resilience that the levels of stress, if we have low resilience level, the stress is higher. If we have a higher resilience level, the stress is lower. Okay, but still, nonetheless, stress is always present and we still need physical healing for that. And it is also the root cause of many physical ailments. And so through pranayama practices like Nadi Shuddhi, the alternate nostril breathing, the nervous system shifts from a stressed sympathetic fight or flight state to a relaxed parasympathetic rest mode. So this lowers the blood pressure, it balances the hormones, and even boosts the immune strength. So next we have emotional healing. Yoga provides powerful tools and techniques to manage anxiety, depression, and trauma. For the population of caregivers and trauma survivors, practicing yoga techniques such as asana, pranayama, and marmanasana kriya, they have reported reduced anxiety and depression, and better sleep and better quality of life. So here, the breath anchors the mind, and the movement releases the stored tension within them. These mindful practices help regulate the emotions and break the cycles of overthinking. So for caregivers, like I said, caregivers or trauma survivors, they are repeating the negative events in their mind again and again and again. And they are hoping that maybe if they had done something different, that different outcome would have happened. Okay, so when they overthink, it only makes it worse for the mind, which actually brings up more emotions and it triggers other memories in them, which adds to the stress. Like we say that only the last straw which breaks the camel's back. So it's not just one negative thought which makes you which breaks a person. It is the continuous overthinking about negative events, and that which triggers other negative events which adds to the stress, which finally breaks the person. So emotional healing is very, very important. And asanas, pranayama and marmanasanam kriya have found to be very effective in this. Okay. Next we have spiritual healing. This is connecting with the higher self, and this is discovering a purpose and meaning. So all of us need a purpose and meaning in life. So I would say initially when you ask a person maybe who is in his 20s, between his 20s and 30s, who doesn't have any, knowledge about the teachings of yoga, and you ask them what is their purpose, they say, my purpose is to finish studying, get a good job, buy a house, get married, settle down. Okay, but as they move on through life, I would say like in a year or two, their priorities change. They're like, what am I doing? What is happening? Okay, and as they move forward, maybe like into their 30s, they start to realize that there is so much more than just the physical and the material world around us. And like I said, when they go through a lot of, I don't want to call them problems, I usually call them as challenges. So the more challenges that they face, the more resilient that they become. And it is here that they realize that they have an higher self which they can connect to, and that it is more than just the materialistic world which is around them. And it is after this awareness that they start to go in search of this, and they start to read up on this. They start to be more aware of their surroundings and how, their thoughts, actions, and speech actually influence their surroundings. This can be done with yogic practices like dhyana and japa. So dhyana being meditation, japa is mantra repetition. So I would say students or shishyas who have gurus, their gurus would have given them some mantras which they can chant. Or if you don't have that, if you have any mantra which is a favorite to you, which calls out to you, which gives you peace, so that is something you should learn. I would say memorize it, so that when you feel hurt or stressed, or you find yourself in a difficult situation where you're not able to focus or think clearly, all you have to do is like just sit down, close your eyes, and just keep repeating this mantra again and again. And also, I would like to say that when we say mantras, mostly everybody, relates directly to Hinduism. This has nothing to do with that at all. No matter which religion you belong to, just choose a prayer or a song from that which calls to you and you feel happy saying or singing. Okay, so whatever the religion, I'm sure you have something which, you relate with closer. So when you are in a time where you feel you are lost, just sit down, close your eyes, and start repeating this again and again. So what this repetition does is it helps to quieten the mental chatter inside your mind. And this brings about clarity. So the more that we sit in meditation and japa, on all days, it tends to strengthen our minds further, which brings about more clarity. And also here with physical healing, emotional healing, and spiritual healing, I would also like to bring in the concept of the wellness graph. So this also was taught to me by Dr. Sir in the initial stages of my learning. So these things have helped me a lot. So in the wellness graph, if you are in the quadrant of the positive, life is always going to throw you challenges. So if you are in the positive, by practicing yoga practices as a lifestyle with conscious living, no matter what the challenge is, even though you come down a couple of squares, you can always bounce back up. But if you don't, and a person is always focusing on the negative, and you go into the negative quadrant, there it becomes really difficult to bounce back. And continuously being in that negative area where you don't have help, a person easily falls into depression and anxiety. And it is here where I would say counselors actually play a very important role. They help the person actually become aware of that. So when a person who comes to me who's really anxious or depressed, and as they are talking to me and sharing their experiences, when they leave, they're like, okay, today I am aware that this is happening. I know that I'm depressed, but I actually wasn't aware of why I was feeling like that. But after talking to you, I know like what is happening in my life. I still don't know what I'm going to do about it, but I do know that something is happening inside of me. So I feel that in this wellness graph, if you were to be in this positive quadrant, physical healing, emotional healing, and spiritual healing, that is the holistic inner healing, plays a very, very important role in the holistic well-being of the person. So I'd like to share just a few experiences. So one is a student who faced exam stress. She practiced pranayama, that is the Brahma Mudra pranayama, made a to-do list and was journaling every morning. And within a few weeks, she felt less anxious. Her headaches had reduced and her insomnia had decreased. Another one is an adolescent with anger issues. So when he was taught to pause, breathe, and journal, he now channels this energy into more creative work. So what these experiences remind us is that healing is not about fixing something broken. Because I strongly believe in yoga that we are not broken. We can never be broken because we are a part of the divine. But we have hurt and we have moved away. Our panchakoshas are misaligned. So what yogic does is it fixes this. It helps us to reconnect with what already exists within us, which is the wholesome us. So this is what inner healing brings about for all of us. Okay. Next, I would like to go in for a practical session so that I can take you through a short session which I practice with my clients, so that you can have a feeling of how yogic counseling, the sense of satisfaction, the sense of ease, the sense of peace that a yogic counseling session can bring about. So I'd like you to all choose a comfortable position to sit. If you do have a yoga mat, you can always lie down on the yoga mat. I'll just stop sharing for a bit so that I can see all of you. Okay. So I'd like you all to take a comfortable position. Be relaxed, sit tall, but yet relaxed. Please close your eyes. Now rest your hands on your lap. Breathe in slowly and breathe out relaxed. Take a few gentle, deep breaths, releasing all the tension from within. We will be now moving through three simple practices: breath, relaxation, and intention. And just allow yourself to be present and relaxed. Now breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Now bring one hand to your stomach place one hand on your stomach. Place your other hand on your chest. Inhale slowly through your nose and feel your stomach rise. Exhale slowly, allowing your stomach to slowly fall back into place. Breathe gently and breathe deeply. And as you breathe, keep your breath smooth, quiet, and even. With every exhale, imagine tension leaving. And with every inhale, imagine the calm entering every cell of your body, right from the tip of your head to the tips of your toes. Gently breathe in and breathe out. Inhale and exhale. Now bring your hands to your thighs. We are now going to do Analom Vilom, that is Nadi Shuddhi, alternate nostril breathing. For those of you who know it, we can start once I just explain it to the others. So here you can use Nasarga Mudra, where you close your right nostril with your thumb and you breathe in through your left, and then you close your left and exhale through your right. Again, inhale through your right and exhale through your left. Okay. So close your eyes. We'll now start Nadi Shuddhi. Okay, close your right nostril with your ring finger. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale left. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale right, inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now bring your hands to your thighs. Keep your eyes closed. Gently breathe in and breathe out. Experience the vibration in your body and continue breathing gently with your eyes closed. You're keeping your eyes closed. Gently bring your awareness back to your present body. We are now going to go into a mind-body relaxation. Again, take a comfortable position to sit. Now bring your awareness to your feet and completely relax them. Bring your awareness to your ankles and relax. Bring your awareness to your calves and relax. Bring your awareness to your thighs and relax. Bring your awareness to your abdomen and relax. Bring your awareness to your hip region and relax. Now relax your entire lower body from your hips right down to the tips of your toes. Now bring your awareness to your chest and to your back and relax. Bring awareness to your shoulders and relax. Bring awareness to your arms, hands, and fingers. Feel them soften and relax. Bring awareness to your neck, your jaw, your cheeks, and your forehead, and completely relax. Your whole body is soft and supported. Feel your mind quietening like the ripples settling on a still lake. Keep your breath smooth, quiet, and even. With every exhale, imagine tension leaving your body. And with every inhale, imagine the calm entering your entire body. Now place your hand on your heart. Think of one quality you wish to grow. It could be peace, patience, confidence, or love. Now silently repeat it after me as if it is already true. I am steady and I am calm. I live with peace and balance. I am steady and I am calm. I live with peace and balance. I am steady and I am calm. I live with peace and balance. Now let this intention rest in your heart like a seed. Continue to breathe normally with your eyes closed, keeping your breath smooth, quiet, and even. Now slowly bring your awareness back to your body. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale out. Rub your hands together and place them over your eyes, feeling the heat energy entering your body through your eyes. Now slowly blink your eyes and then open your hands, feeling relaxed and refreshed. Now I'd like you all to share in one word how this session made you feel. It could be calm, light, peaceful, or any feeling that came up. So you can now share in the chat box. So we have relax, we have aware, we have much calmer and more centered, relaxed and felt calm and peaceful and relaxing, and calmer. Okay. So I thank you all for sharing. I will now reshare my slide. Okay. So this session is one of the sessions which I do for the clients who approach me at work. It is a very short session which takes like less than 10 minutes. And I find that it has been very useful and effective for them, because in a short time, they can actually finish this and go back to their work or go back to class. Okay. So yogic counseling in action. So this is something which I came across. It's actually in one of the books that I have. And I was like, okay, wow, because I really relate to this a lot. And there is, okay, what used to be a joke when I was in college. So you may have heard of this. So it's like, what is the height of honesty? Have you heard of that? What is the height of honesty? No? Okay, so in India, it's a very famous joke, at least when I was in college. So the height of honesty is a pregnant lady buying 2 tickets on a bus. Okay, so so then there's another one. What is the height of stupidity? I'm sure many people would have heard of this. Have you heard of this? What is the height of stupidity? Okay, they say it's a joke, but actually it is not, which I learned like much later. It actually has so much of wisdom in it. So height of stupidity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Okay, so when I see this, this is what I remember. So this 1 to the power of 365 is your daily routines, and you are not satisfied with that. You feel that you are lost, or you are on autopilot, or you don't feel happy with what you're doing, but yet you do it again and again every day, and you expect inner healing, you expect conscious living, you expect happiness, you expect moving forward in life, when you haven't done anything different. Okay, so this 1.01, so 01 is actually a very, very small quantity, but yet even that point not 1 to the power of 365 has a huge difference. So it is 37.7. So my understanding and the realization that I got is, even just a baby step every day, even if you are on your worst days, I tell my clients and also myself, wake up, get ready, be the best you can be, present yourself well, and just take at least one step a day. Even if maybe you have like 10 things to do just one thing. Okay, so that little effort goes a long way, and a little progress each day adds up to big results. So this is like one of my favorite um, things which I have put up in my office, and I keep it in my desktop also. Like I said, I have a book with this on it, and every time I look at it, it reminds me that even everybody has difficult days, but it's always remember to at least take baby steps. Okay, so the next one is this. It's called a vision board. So this is, again, it is I find this as a very powerful tool for conscious living. Vision board is a concept which is like very famous across the world now. I think it has been very famous for like almost 2 decades, and everybody is talking about it. They have like a lot of workshops, and it costs like $100 to $500 per workshop to get this done. I do this for my students when they enter college. So they have what is called the foundation program. So this is like the first month of the first year of their college. And this is where, I sit down and I explain to them about the vision board. So it's about, first putting down your goals, your intentions. So it's kind of like a sankalpa. It's setting intentions for your future. So where do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? This is one of the most recent ones which I did just last week with the students. And these two I was like really happy with, because this population has not actually heard of the concept of a vision board at all. And so from my instructions which I had given them, and in just 2 hours, this is what two students were able to come up with. And I think it was amazing work. And here you find that I am a great student, which is a great sankalpa. I love my college. And the relationship with others is I love my family, and there you have their friends as well, as you can see. And then you have their graduation cap. So this is a sankalpa to do well and finish college. So when they put the graduation cap and they look at it every day, automatically, their mind is set to graduate within the stipulated time and go on to the next phase of life. And financial freedom, and then travel the world, well organized, peace, punctual. So I found, some of these words I had given them, and I had also given them an idea of what kind of pictures they could place in this. So you can see in both of them, the center picture is the person, is the student, so that all these things rotate around them, and so that they are conscious about this on an everyday basis. So when I tell them, think about, all the positive things every day, it is not possible because everybody is busy. But when you have a vision board and you stick it up in your room and you look at it the first thing when you wake up in the morning, your mind like takes it all in and says, okay, so this is what I'm supposed to do. It knows what it's supposed to do for the next at least 5 years of their lives. And so it's easier for them to plan and to go forward with their studies and with coming to college and all of that stuff. So this is my way of helping my students, inculcate yogic principles and the foundations of yoga into their daily lives. This is one of my favorite pictures which I've taken from Dr. Sir's book. For life, in order to live consciously and to have a good life, first we need to have the right attitude. So what is the right attitude? We all have doubts all the time. So the Shishya is asking the Guru, what is the right attitude towards change? And the Guru says, having the energy to change that which you can, the patience to accept that which you cannot, and the wisdom to know the difference. So when students come to me and they are like really stressed and they say, I can't do this, I can't do that, I ask them, what is in your control? And they say like ABC is in my control. I say, okay, then if it is in your control, do something about it. Then they tell me something else. And I say, that's not in your control. Then I say, if it's not in your control, why worry about it at all? Because you can't do anything. So if you can do something about it, do it. If you can't, it is better to accept it or move away from it or change your attitude towards it. So that is why this is like one of my favorite pictures from the book. It is from the book, A Yogic Approach to Stress. And below it says like one of the most important yoga skills in consciously constructing the proper bhavana, the attitude. We have only one true freedom. That is the freedom to choose the proper attitude towards everything that happens to us. So events happen to all of us, and whether we take it positively or negatively is up to us. I would like just another small example, rain. So when it rains heavily, if we are in a nice house, we tend to like enjoy the rain. So in India, we make what is like bhaji and, things, we deep fry stuff and we eat it with hot tea and coffee. Okay, so it's nice for the weather. But suppose if it's a person living in a hut which is leaking, that person will not be happy. So the same event, rain, brings happiness to some people and brings difficulty and challenges to another person. So the same way, an event in life can be both negative and positive. You can see the best in both. So what do you choose? Do you choose the best version or do you choose the difficult version? Do you choose the problem? Okay, so it is important to know the difference between what you can control, what you cannot control, and to change what you can. Yeah. Okay. So just a recap of what we have learned. Today, we explore the foundations of a yogic lifestyle and how it nurtures the balance of body, mind, and spirit. And through the simple daily yogic practices such as mindful eating, sleep, selfless action, what kind of food we choose to eat, and compassionate relationships and reflective routines, yoga becomes not something that we do, but it becomes a way of being. And yogic lifestyle supports inner healing by easing the body from stress, calming the mind from anxiety or past pain, and opening the heart to peace and purpose. At the heart of yogic living, we have conscious living, and making small, mindful choices every day helps to build resilience, joy, and wholeness. And when we live consciously, healing is not a temporary fix, it becomes a sustainable way of life. Yoga is about embracing life fully with clarity and calm. Yes, I would like to thank everybody who has come here today for the session. I would like to thank Dr. Sir, Meena ma'am, and Nilachal for this opportunity. This is I've always been interested in yoga and psychology, and now I've had the opportunity to put both together as a presentation, and I was very happy and excited to do this. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Priya ma'am. Thank you for beautiful uh, hybrid combination of theory, practical examples, and the last part with the cherry in the cake where you mentioned the doctresses, that illustrations of the choice, the power of choice. So thank you so much for putting it all together. And uh, we have a few questions, and there is a question from Ramesh ji. Patients are very impatient. They are very disturbed in hospital setup. I think they have limited time to finish many work in hospital area. They're not ready to listen to discussion in the therapeutic model. How to give counseling, how to do counseling to them.
Patients are very good. Okay, so from a patient and therapist point of view, so this person is a doctor
He is a
or
therapist. I think Ramesh ji, are you here? Uh,
yes. So if he's a doctor and he's in a hospital setup, like Balaji sir was explaining yesterday, it is first important to give them the allopathic medicine, and then when they are calmer, you can actually tell them about the preventive measures of yoga and how it can help you bring about or restore wellness in you. Because when patients are not well, they are very frustrated, they are upset, they are scared. So when we try to tell them you do pranayama and all this, they are not going to listen. So I would say that a hospital setup, especially when they are visiting for the first time, it is not advisable to bring in yoga therapy unless they are in a place where they feel safe and they can open up and they know that their health is improving and that they can do something else to make it better. So I would say
mm,
wait for them to have the initial healing and then bring in yoga.
okay. Thank you, Priya ma'am. If anyone and else have question, you can raise a hand and write in the chat box.
Yes, there is another question. It says normally in big yoga groups, um, in the last pranayama session of 15 minutes, usually
Mm.
20 to 25 students, 25% students leave the class even though they know the importance of it. Give an idea how I can retain them. Okay. So actually one thing which again I was taught by Dr. Sir in this session is no matter how long you do the yoga session, it may be half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, even 1.5 hours. But if you want the full benefit, the last 10 minutes of Shavasana gives you the full benefit of the entire session. So even if I need to leave early, I will always be in Shavasana for at least 10 minutes because I want the benefits. So when I realized that, I would always stay till the end because it is important for me. So I guess the awareness of how important Shavasana is very important. Uh, Yes.
Mm.
So I guess they need to have more awareness of, it's not just about doing the asanas or I know they get a good stretch and they feel like energetic and all that. But, they will see the difference when they do the Shavasana and when they are more aware of this information. So I would suggest give them this information and, hope that they follow through. And if they are students of a young age group, they are mostly they don't have enough of patience, and I would say this patience comes with life experience. So even my sons, they don't like to like do long sessions, so I need to do like very very small sessions for them. But the most important part that they love is the shavasana, so that is good. So they stay in shavasana at least for 5 minutes. So they need to be more aware of it. There is another question. In
Mm.
sessions with teenagers, sometimes we give a sweet treat at the end. Don't tell me the group, don't tell the group it will happen, but have it as a surprise. Those that leave early will hear about it and stay next time. Okay, that is a good idea, but I would suggest instead of giving sweets, maybe give them something healthy, a healthy snack.
There is another question from
Yes.
Lambodar Pradhanji. Many people nowadays complaining that they are not able to do deep breathing. Is there any specific asana to reopen the heart chakra or like breathing capacity?
Okay, for deep breathing, if they're not able to do it, it's always better to start with a lower count. And it is only with regular practice that this increases. There is actually one example which Dr. Sir has mentioned in his classes. So one of his clients, he asked them to do deep breathing on a regular basis, follow pranayama. And this person said, I am like very busy. I have no time at all. And the one specific instruction was for him to do Sukha Pranayama, breathing through the nose which that person said he cannot do at all. So what Dr. Sir advised him is, he said, when you go to take a bath, fill your mouth with water. So till you finish taking your bath, you should have your mouth filled with water. So what happened is, by the end of like a week or so, he realized that he was actually able to breathe with his nose, and he was also able to breathe deeper. So there, you have to use different techniques for this. But for a person who can breathe with his nose but has a lower count, I would suggest regular practice at a lower count and slowly increase it. So you can always start at like 3 or 4 and then slowly increase it to 5 and 6.
Yes, Priya ma'am, thank you. And I think these are the questions. And yeah, so I would like to invite Bharataji to speak a few words in this session. Uh, I think it got muted, Bharataji.
Thank you, Priyaji, for your excellent presentation. Fascinating to see the structure and methodology of many of the yoga practices and principles coming into to play. And I love the part about trying to cultivate, trying to get your clients to experience inner peace. That I can imagine there's some challenges with that. A lot of people are restless. Any further insights that you have to offer those of us who are trying to counsel people to experience and cultivate that inner peace? Thank you.
So initially, when they're restless, I just allow them to talk. So that is usually the first session, and then just before they leave, I ask them just close their eyes, and we do a few rounds of deep breathing. And so after that, I always ask them at the end of the session, how do you feel now? And they say, I feel better than I did before. Some people say, I don't feel good, but I feel better. So I say, okay, so do you know difference? Do you know what happened? Then they say, yes, I think when I was still and quiet and I was breathing, my concentration, I was able to concentrate on myself and on my breathing, which actually took my thoughts away from my problems and my worries for just that small amount of time. So it is then I say, can you come in for another session? So when they come in for the next session, I take a little bit longer session like the one I did today. So, but all my sessions, if it's like this, they have to be like under 10 minutes because they don't have time and they have to get back to class. But if they want even longer sessions, I do it for them based on their availability. So I'd say take it slowly, give them just a little, like give them a little treat first. Show them how it feels, how deep breathing feels, how closing their eyes and disconnecting from the outer world feels. And then in the following sessions, we can do a longer sessions and maybe bring in pranayamas and asanas and all that.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's very practical. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And now I'd like to invite Meena ma'am to share her views.
Good evening to everybody. Priya, congratulations for that wonderful presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
You know, when you started, I was just visualizing the first day you came to the School of Yoga Therapy, like when you joined PG Diploma, and what you were then and what you are now. I'm truly, truly happy to see the change, the transformation that has happened, and so very proud of you. Soon to be Dr. Priya, because she's completing thesis submitted, and I mean the synopsis submitted. She's getting the thesis ready. So this is truly what I would say is transformation. Truly, and like Nilachal was pointing out, the practices that you gave were so, like soothing, calming, grounding, and the examples, that was really amazing. Congratulations. I'm waiting to see that day when you get, announced by the director research as Dr. Priya. Wishing you all the best in life. Take care.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Meena ma'am. Now we came to the end of this today's session, and I would like today we share a poll in our the dean of the faculty. He is worshipped, and all the engineers and all the objects, the all the instruments, electronic gadgets are being like worshipped today. So yeah, like we are human body is like an instrument, and from there we can have this understanding through yoga chikitsa and how Priya ma'am today took us in this journey. We can have this understanding in a more better way. And with this conclusion, I would like to thank all the team. You may not see in the background a lot of things are happening, but I would like to thank Diya ji, Garima ji, for helping me in conducting these sessions. And all the smoothness that you see in the background, there are a lot of things keep on going on and off. So thank you so much, Diya ji and Garima ji. And doctors always is there. And thank you all the participants who are here for helping me in this journey, because whether we all are together, then only we can go in this journey. Alone is not the proper way. We are learning from each other. So I think sir is also here, and sir, if you want to share anything.
I just wanted to appreciate a very beautiful presentation by Priya, and I think one of the specialities of the Rishi culture tradition through Anand Ashram and that percolates through the ISCM is that we are always looking at integrating different aspects of knowledge systems, and a very beautiful integration of psychological principles with the Rishi culture yoga teachings today. Especially liked many of the practical examples you gave, Priya. And I was just chuckling when we talked about the Shavasana, and what Amma used to do in Kamli Swami Madam is at the end for Shavasana, she would, when we were all kids, imagine, 500 kids in class all lying in Shavasana and fidgeting all the time. So she used to say that the kid who didn't move throughout that Shavasana at the end would get a small biscuit packet. So, in India, we have all these milk bikis that will be there, like 5 or 10 biscuits will be there in those days. And so she would have bought 50 of these. First, she started off buying 5 because she didn't think any of the kids would, get through it. And she did it on one Sunday, and about 10 of the kids managed to, not move throughout the Shavasana. Next Sunday, she needed 50 because 50 kids didn't move. And it was amazing what used to happen. So this I brought into Yoganjali Natyalayam with our chikkis. These are the peanut and jaggery sweets. And the kids, this way, it's healthy also. Peanuts, groundnuts are one of the best protein sources with jaggery. So at the end of the session, those who were able to be there to the end, who did the practices, who relaxed, were given this. I think, especially with the younger people, they need this type of reinforcement, a positive reinforcement. As we grow older, we need different types of reinforcement, like, giving people a hug at the end of the session or talking to them and giving them a bit of attention. Everybody likes attention. But I just wanted to share one small methodology that comes in psychotherapy. And it's a part of what is called Alderian psychotherapy. Thanks to Divya, I'm learning all of this. And there was a very beautiful concept we were recently reading. And the concept is that you should act as if. The concept is act as if. So, you want to be strong, but you're not able to be strong. So you start to act as if you are strong. You want to have gratitude, act as if you have gratitude. You want to have love, act as if you have love. So here the whole concept is act as if you have it, and you will start to experience it. And the more you experience it, the more that will become your nature. And Swamiji used to say that his grandfather used to say, mocking is catching. If you act like something, you will start to manifest it. So I think this is a very important part of the way we work with yoga is we give people opportunities to be something that they may not have been earlier, especially the positive side. So I just wanted to point this out because it was a very beautiful realization that it is also like a Pratipaksha Bhavanam. Okay. It's like a Pratipaksha Bhavanam in that way. So thank you so much, Priya, for bringing this together.
Thank you.
And very proud of you, as Dr. Meena also rightly pointed out. And thank you so much, Nilachal and Dia and others for putting this together. The next 2 days, I'm not going to be able to join you. I'm going to be traveling. So I just wanted to spend a few moments today in the background and make sure that things are going well. And October 2nd, we'll be having our inaugural session. It is Vijaya Dasami, a very special day for learning Vidya Rambam. And we are going to be starting with an open house free for all, not free for all, meaning free for all. I mean free, that everybody can attend on the Gitananda approach to Yoga Chikitsa, that then will continue into our 12-month course, which Nilachal and I are going to be taking forward with some residentials at ICYR and other things. So we hope that it's going to be a good start. I am just trying to confirm the time that we'll have it, because being Vijayadashmi, I'm occupied with a lot of sessions already, but we'll confirm the timing soon for that also. So have a wonderful time and see you all next whenever it is.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing. And first, thank you for coming. And for next session, we have with us Dr. Garima Selia, who will be sharing her teachings or understandings about Rishi culture, diets, and Dincharya for therapeutic lifestyle. So, all are like very eager. We invite you all for this interesting session where we, in the Rishi culture tradition, we have a lot of things in diets and a lot of Ritucharya, the diets and other aspects. So you all are welcome. And for the closing prayer, I would like to invite Diyaji. Uh, yeah.
Thank you, Nilachalji. And again, once again, thank you, Priya ma'am, for such a wonderful session. Truly, truly appreciate. So let's end with Shanti Mantra. So I invite everyone to join your hands. Let's pray for peace for everyone around us. Om Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu sarve janaha sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you. We all see you tomorrow.